Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to construct Freefall as a part of robotics construction level 1. Freefall, we will construct it from the instructions, and while doing it, we'll understand a deviation of an oscillatory motion. So if you see the freefall, it is slightly different than the oscillatory motion, though it uses oscillatory motion at its core. Let's go and start constructing freefall. This is step 1. This is a push-pull rod. We will be creating it using a single bar and having one flat rotator at one end, another flat rotator at another end. Flat rotator is connected using one nut bolt each. Now this one acts as both push-pull rod and pendulum rod. Now here what we have done is we have created 3 holes. So we need 3 flat rotators. One here, one just next to it, and one at another end. These 2 ends are going to get connected, and here we are going to connect the fulcrum point, whereas this is going to be connected to the another push-pull rod. This we'll call assembly A. We move to next step. In the next step, we are creating assembly B, where we are using 2 square plates and connecting them using 2 L connectors, one here, and those L connectors use 2 nut and bolts to connect these 2 square plates. We are also connecting one single bar to this using 2 nut and bolts here. And in addition, we have one more flat rotator to create hole at the top. So it will be connected to the part from assembly A. Let's move on to the next step. Here we have connected assembly A and assembly B. If you see, these 2 rods were connected using 1-inch bolt and nut, and that is loosely coupled here. And the assembly B and this rod is connected again using 1-inch nut and bolt, loosely coupled again. So this total is our assembly C. In the next step, we are creating the base and the mast. 2 C plates and one rectangular plate connected using 2 nut and bolts on both sides. You can see here we have connected 2 nut and bolts, here 2 nut and bolts. Now in addition to that, we have also connected 2 L connectors here using 1 bolt each. Here is one L connector, here is another L connector. And then these 2 L plates are connected together using 2 flat connectors. One on the front, one on the side. This is the flat side of both the L plates. We also connected them to the base using 2 nut and bolts here. And finally, we have created one hole at the top here using one flat rotator and one bolt and nut. Let's move on to the next step. In this step, we have connected this double bar to the L connector which we had created in earlier step using one nut and bolt. Similarly, another double bar on this side connected using one more nut and bolt. We have also connected a DC motor here. Now watch where the shaft is coming. So these vertical slits, these horizontal slits, and these are the vertical slits. So top of the vertical slits here, the motor shaft is coming. And on the motor shaft, we have placed one spacer. We'll move on to the next step. Here, let's first create this gear assembly. For that, what we need is one big gear and 1.5-inch bolt and nut tightly secured to the big gear. And on top of that, we are going to place one spacer and one shaft lock to create some space. Now this part is connected here using axle, and that axle has one spacer behind this big gear and one shaft lock in front and one shaft lock from the back of the L plate to secure this gear at place. Now where that axle is going through, it's going through the hole which we created in our last step. We have also mounted medium gear onto the motor shaft and secured it with a shaft lock. And we have created a fulcrum point here using 1-inch bolt and nut and a spacer. Let's move on to the next step. The assembly C, which we created in our step number 3, is mounted here, connected to the 1.5-inch bolt which we had attached to the big gear. Onto that, this assembly is coupled with a nut which is loosely coupled. Another place is this fulcrum point which we created in last step. There also we have connected it using a loosely coupled nut. And that completes our robot. Now what's happening is, if you see, this is our push-pull rod. It pushes, pulls, and this is our pendulum rod which swings in an oscillatory fashion. But that oscillatory fashion swing also makes this assembly go down and up, down and up. And that's what is the free fall. It comes up and then suddenly goes down. Again comes up, suddenly goes down. So this is our robot free fall. What did we do? We constructed robot from the instructions and we understood a deviation of an oscillatory motion. How the oscillatory motion can be further modified to get different motions. I hope you liked this robot. Do write your comments in the comment section, and in our next video we'll come with another robot.